Hi, Tram. Lovely to be here. My name is Elena Price. I work as a learning and development manager in DB Schenker. It's my first time working for a freight forwarding company, logistics company. Previously, I started my career in British Airways in Moscow, and that took me to lots of weird and wonderful places like Tbilisi and Baku and Almaty and Geneva, which is the more wonderful place. Yes, and kind of then from a number of other roles that I held in Cathay Pacific and another pharmaceutical company also in the learning and development sector, I joined Schenker, and so here I am.
My name is Luke. So I work with the lovely Elena here as the learning and development advisor in the business. So Elena is my direct manager. I suppose I don't have as much or as extensive experience as Elena. I suppose it's still kind of getting to grips with everything in the learning and development fields. But my background would have been in psychology, and then work psychology, more specifically work in organisational. And I was then working as a learning development administrator in another Irish company. But then an opportunity in DB Schenker came knocking, and I met Elena here and haven't looked back since. So well, that's my brief, very quick journey so far.
You provide an overview of the career journey that ultimately led to you both joining DB Schenker, along with a brief description of you, along with a brief description and history of your time at the business?
Yes, absolutely. So I initially started working for British Airways in Moscow, which was quite a few years ago, and it was a very exciting opportunity to learn operation, learn business, and learn team collaboration, and get into the first leadership role very early on in a very different environment where I am now. That time was all about operation, but that's when I learned, I think for the first time, how important it is for people to be properly trained, to be properly supported in the transition from one role to another. So after that, when life led me into other roles, which where I specialized more on the learning and development, this perception of this belief of the importance of supporting any new leader who is moving into a leadership role, or those who are already in leadership positions, supporting them through their career is tremendously important. And that's sort of the belief that I brought into Schenker with me, and was really, really excited that this view and this value is shared in Schenker. A couple of words about Schenker as a company. It started over 150 years ago now, and from the very humble beginnings of kind of a couple of cars and horses and trucks in Austria. It has now grown into a multinational global company that spans from Asia to America, and it's a really wonderful company. But what I particularly enjoy here is not just that it's a very prosperous and productive and very successful company, but also the culture of Schenker. We have fantastic focus on people, and I'm sure that many of people you speak to would say we put people at the heart of everything we do. But this is something that we truly believe in, and look at myself, definitely believe in this, but it's very much supported and actually driven by our senior management team as well. And that is what allowed us to introduce this program in Schenker.
I suppose just a brief history of myself. So starting off early in my career, I originally started off as, it feels like a long time ago now, as a human resources admin, but more veered toward that. I suppose I I wanted to get more involved in the learning and development space, and then carved out a role for myself in that area. So solely focused on that, and then kind of got the bug for facilitating and helping people in the business develop, whatever areas that they wanted to, but as well as leadership development, which then eventually I had met Elena, and she told me the wonderful plans that she had for developing those within DB Schenker, and it's something that I couldn't say no to, and it's what I've been involved in ever since, and helping drive and deliver this program has been extremely fulfilling, and Elena is spot on when she says that it's something that's driven at the heart of our business, kind of comes down from the top with kind of very people focused, and all of our initiatives they're kind of they're rolled out seamlessly now because they have that support from our senior management team, and that it's very focus on our people, develop our people, and it's I suppose it's music to myself and Elena's ears. It makes our job a lot easier. So and then in terms of the history of Schenker, Elena already covered it off. So
what challenges would you say have you overcome with your development program? And what advice would you give to someone who's maybe looking to create the best development program possible?
Again, we were very lucky that we didn't have to go and sell the idea to the business. It was very much welcomed when we came up with an idea that we felt the group of employees who definitely needed and would have benefited from additional support were those who are transitioning from the individual contributor role into a role of a first-time leader. And it can be it can be seen as perhaps it's not such a big deal. It's not a super a senior role, but it's probably one of the biggest leaps that we have to make into our career. One of the biggest steps that we have to take when all of a sudden we're not just responsible for ourselves, but we are now being responsible for the people who are doing the job. And we very strongly felt that by supporting these people, we are creating a really strong succession pipeline within our business. So then obviously in terms of designing the program was a joy. It was really, really exciting. I think our challenge was to make sure that we don't get overexcited and carried away with the complexity of the topics and topics and information we put into the program. And the other aspect was to make sure that we can connect to all those who need this program. Schenker in the UK and Ireland is where we operate, is geographically it is quite diverse. We have multiple locations in Ireland, we have multiple locations in the UK. So we wanted to make sure that the program is face-to-face and it allows people to network in addition to upskilling themselves. So I guess in terms of the challenges that we needed to overcome is to make sure that the content that we have selected for this program is very, very closely connected to the business strategy, to the direction of the business, and to the needs of those who are going through this potentially transition to a leadership role. And our sort of more of our personal challenge was then to make sure that we are physically available in the specified locations we have, which we chose to conduct the workshops. Anything I have missed, Luke?
I think you hit everything there. I suppose one of the more personal challenges, I suppose, when designing the content for the workshop is, we wanted to make sure that, and the program itself, we want to make sure that all of the content was really practical things that they could take away and start putting to use right away, and start practicing those skills. So sometimes, I can get wrapped up in the theory and all of the different academic stuff, but it's really getting down to what are the practical things that the guys can take away and do tomorrow that's going to help facilitate them become better leaders in the future.
What would you attribute as the main reason for your program success?
I think for me, one of the really successful points, which is quite specific to our company, is we have people who work in warehouses, who are on the road, they're drivers, and those who are based in offices or even remotely. So we have a really, again, diverse structure to our company. And what we have done with this program is we pulled all these people together and tried to make this program relevant and accessible to all of them. And also the benefit, I think, that as a company that we're getting from having these people working together, interacting with each other throughout the program, it builds this invaluable connections that later on inevitably will depend on in our kind of day-to-day business. So for me, that kind of diversity that we have achieved by not channeling this program for a particular category of employees, but making it open for everyone, that is definitely something that I feel really proud about.
And to echo a lot of what Elena said, I think that the number one kind of success attribute for the program was that the people, the participants who were involved in the sessions. I suppose what we get across to everyone coming into Schenker is, we want people to really take ownership and drive their own development and drive their career forward. And it's the participants who really were engaged in those different workshops throughout the program and engaged in the post work that really made it easy then for myself and Elena to run the program, because they were so eager, enthusiastic, and wanted to be there, wanted to be involved, drove the conversation. So that they, I feel, were the number one attribute to its success, really.
It's winning this award. How has that affected, would you say, both yourselves and the business, both internally and externally?
There's been a lot of buzz internally, at least, about us winning this award, and which has been quite humbling, to be honest, because neither of us are showy-offy kind of people. So we feel that every time somebody says, "Oh, congratulations, you won the award, it's fantastic," it is hugely flattering. It makes us feel very proud, but it's humbling as well. Really exciting to hear colleagues in the European regional offices and globally as well show interest to this program, asking questions, kind of what did you do, how did you do it, looking for opportunities to perhaps upscale it or translate effectively this program into perhaps other areas, other regions. This is really, really interesting, really exciting. And I think even within the company, there is clearly a lot of interest, even more interest now, and we're very lucky now to conduct our next intake. We're now in the middle of the same program with the next intake, so it's really exciting.
Created a really, really great buzz internally, for sure. It's we're starting to get those calls. Well, I don't know about you, Elena. I've got a few that from people around the business that just say, that program that so and so was on last year. When is that? And can I take place? Can I take part in it in the next one? Which is great that there is a buzz around it, and people, that are signing up again. And as Elena said, that we've got that second cohort that's running now, which is brilliant. And even when it's kind of pushed people in the direction into other kind of learning. So the people who've completed the first cohort of the program, it hasn't stopped there. I suppose they've looked for other sources of development to continue that kind of learning process. And then for those people who, let's say it's just been a bit too late to apply for this cohort and they'll get on the next one, it hasn't stopped them from going and exploring what else is out there. What can they be doing in the meantime? So there has been more of a buzz, for sure, in the learning space within Schenker now.
As award winners, would you recommend Business Awards UK to other businesses?
Definitely, and not just because we won, but I think I found it really easy in terms of being very straightforward. The process for entering, for receiving feedback, for communication, all of that has been very, very straightforward, easy to understand, easy to follow. And like you said, the additional benefit for us is the questions that we were asked to consider and reflect on allowed us to have a really good think about some of the key aspects of that program and how where do we go from here with this program. So there are certain things that we answering those questions we kind of went, yeah, actually yes, that's that was the direct connection to the program. So very good, very pleased, and would definitely recommend for other businesses out there with interest in exciting programs to join, so that we can all learn from each other.
100% would also recommend, and like Elena said, it really kind of taught us to reflect on our kind of biggest takeaway so far, and I suppose what we're going to do next. So 100% would absolutely recommend everyone to get involved with business services awards, for sure. Sorry, I can't top Elena's answer. I'm not.
But what would you say is both the big next step for yourselves and this program within DB Schenker?
I suppose because this has been this particular program has been such a success that the business has been kind of saying what's next, or on what's the next level. So it's got myself and Elena back to the drawing board to come up with that next piece. So we are releasing kind of the next level. So let's say for this program, it was aimed at those people taking the first step into leadership. This is for those who are now the next level. So they've started off in leadership, but maybe want to sharpen up those skills and things like that. So it's kind of another added on that's a bit more in depth, and it runs for a longer period of time as well. So it's and then it's gonna, I've no doubt that once that's done, it's going to be the next level after that's done. We've our work cut out for us for the next period, but it's exciting times for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm glad that you mentioned this program, because that is definitely a big step for us. And ultimately, what we want to make sure is sort of, if we look at the learning and development almost from a strategic point of view, that we have an absolutely sound support for for employees in Schenker throughout their career, whether they are developing themselves as experts in the field, and then we support them from the product and technical skills development. But if they're following the leadership pathway, then they are properly supported from the time when they're transitioning into their first role, and all the way further down that further up the career, so that they are continuously sharpening the skills, and that we can, hopefully very proudly say that we have a very people-focused leaders in our company. So that's for the future.
Brilliant. Well, it sounds like you've both got a lot of work ahead of you, but something that you're both very excited for. I think it is the definition of suffering from success. So it is wonderful to hear that this is going to keep on going. And I just want to thank you as well for both joining us today, Elena and Luke. If they want to find you guys, if they want to find DB Schenker, or if they just want to maybe even join this program eventually, when they heard so much about it today, where can they find you both?
We're both reachable on email. We both have LinkedIn profiles, and we'll be very happy to connect with whoever would like to speak to us. So probably the easiest way for to find us is on LinkedIn.
Brilliant. Well, again, I just want to say thank you very much for joining us today, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trem. Thank you.